When you start building an app, you have to keep an eye on the end users of your app and the types of devices that they will use to consume your application. For example, if you are building an app for professionals working in an office, it is most likely that the users of your app are mostly on laptop or a desktop. On the other hand, if you are building an app such as a personal note taker or an organizer, then you have to cater to all device types. So it is important that you build your application with a responsive design right from the get-go. In this video, we will look at the various options Bubble provides to build responsive web applications. I have created a new page and let us cover some basic features of the Bubble editor. You see this highlighted borders. As you can see, this is the width of the screen and this is the height of the screen, and you cannot place the elements outside of this border. For example, if I try to place the button outside the border, it will not work. So I would have to place it inside. I can increase or decrease the area that I can work with. Okay, and yeah, let us see some of these options. Okay, the grids and borders. Let's look at the I'll talk about the grid part later, but let's talk about the other options. For example, I'll place a text element. Okay, and right now if I disable the show distances on hover option, okay, so when I click on it, okay, I don't see any options. What is the size of this element? But if I enable this option, okay, so it basically shows me the margins from the left side. What is the margin from the top side? What is the margin from right side and bottom side? What is the margin? Okay, and if I click on it and hover on it, it will show me the width and the height of this element. Now if I want to make further changes to this, I will simply double click on it and it will give me this options where I can modify a few of the properties. I can even name this box here. Let's say, for example, if we have hundreds of text elements, then and if I want to refer one of the text element, it would be really difficult. So it is better if we name them differently. So let's name this first name. Okay, and if you want to place a text here, you can type in here. Okay, we can also dynamically get this text and populate it. For that, if I click here, it will give me an option to insert dynamic data. We will see that in the future videos what this is all about. Let us look at a few other things. Now, this is one more area where you can input the width and the height of the element. If I change it to 300, you can see the button is expanding. I can also change the height. This is the part where we can specify the style. Okay, let me remove the default style. Okay, let's preview how it looks right now. Okay, you have to click on the preview button here and it will open a new tab and it will show how currently the screen would look like. Okay, we have only one element, text element, and that is being shown here. Now what if I want to change the color? What if I want to change the font size? All that you can do with style. Right now the font that is being used is Barlow, Let me change it to Popins. I will use a regular font. You can see the font getting changed. I will increase the size, for example, to 24. I'll make it bold. I will even change the color here. Okay. And what if I want to give a tooltip text? Okay. Then background style. Okay. What if I want to give a background color to this whole text element area? Right now it is white. Let me give it a different background color. Okay. You can even define borders. Let me make it white again. Okay. Let me define the borders now. Okay. I will define a solid border. Let's preview this. Okay. You can either refresh the page here, and one more thing you might have noticed, you don't need to manually save these changes. They are being saved automatically. You can see it here. Let's make a change here. Okay, you can see this is saving. Yeah. Now you don't need to you can refresh the page, or you can click on this black highlighted text. Okay, I'll click on this highlighted text. You can see the border, you can see the font with a different color, and the size is changed. I will again go back and double click on the element. Okay, let's look at a few other options. Now we have set all the borders. Okay, what if I want to set the borders differently? Okay, I'll select each border independently. Okay, I'll say I'll only want the bottom border. Okay, I'll say solid. I'll keep a width of 1. Now let's preview. I'll click on the black highlighted text. Now you can see that only the bottom part has a border. We have other settings like padding and other stuff. Yeah, shadow style. Let us look at shadows style. Okay, outset, and it has a box shadow of this color, like a gray color. So let us look at how it looks like. Okay, see, it has a shadow around it, right? Now you can even rotate the text, the element here. Let's, for example, tilt it 30 degrees. Okay, you can already see the text rotated. Yeah, for all different types of elements. Okay, for example, if I place a group, okay, ideally you would want to keep all the elements grouped inside a container. Okay, you don't want your elements to be hanging independently here on the page. Okay, this is just for demonstration purpose. I was showing you an element here, but ideally you would keep it inside a group. Okay, yeah, so now let us talk about as I was talking about the editor, right, the bubble editor. So as you can see here, when I hover on the box, I can see, okay, if I click on it, you can see these edges that I can drag and increase the size and decrease the size, and it will give me the width and the height, and also the margins from all different directions. Now what if I want to align these things? Okay, let me change the angle back to 0. I'll just delete it. Okay, what if I want to align these things? Okay, it currently there is no way. Okay, I don't know if they're, it looks to me that they are aligned, but I'm not really sure if they're aligned. So one thing that you can use, I highly recommend that you keep this checked. So snap elements to edges. Okay, you have to choose this option. Now if I move it, you can see that it is already snapping to the edge. Okay, and if I want to move it to the right side, you can see again a snapping of the edge here. Okay, yeah. Now what else? So for example, okay, let's talk about grids. Okay, show grid. Okay, so you can uh, change the color of these highlights, and also you can change the, for example, if I change the color to red, okay, you can see the red lines. And if you want to change the, yeah, so what exactly is a grid here? Okay, so we have seen that you can snap the edge elements to the edges of different elements, right? What if I, let's say for example, I want to create a button. Okay, will randomly choose a size. I don't know what size I should choose. Okay, for the button, I can either make it this big, I can either make it this big, this big. There is no ideal size, right? So I would have to choose from 100 different options to make to choose the size of the button. Okay, but instead, if I have the grid, okay, what I'll do is I have only couple of options. The life becomes easier when I have few options, right? So now I can uh, snap the button to the edge of the grid. Right now it is not snapping because we have to choose. Right now we have chosen snap elements to edges. We have to choose snap to edges and grid. Okay, now if I expand this button, you can see it is already snapping at the grid edge, right? So now I can choose the size of the button. Like I can either make it this big or this big. I don't need to worry about choosing different sizes here. In the next video, we will talk about how many grids I should use. For example, here you see that for every 70 step, okay, if I remove the gutter here, so what exactly are these things? So we have a brown, we have a gray patch here, we have a white patch here. So what exactly, why do we need it, and how many grids I should have ideally when I start developing? We will look at all these things, and also what is the ideal size of a page that you should keep when you start building the app. Yeah, see you in the next one. Yeah, stay tuned.